All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Office Hours, and today I'll be here to just take any questions that anybody has for the next 30 minutes before we move on to the members only section. Okay, and if no one is here, I'm going to just go straight into just my own personal, I don't know, work or whatever. Uh, there is something I want to learn today specifically about how to use the replay buffer on OBS. So I'm just going to be doing a little bit of that research. Um, Meanwhile, if anyone wants to ask me any questions, you can just type in the chat. Okay, so I'm just going to type out what I just said. As of now, no one's chatting. I'll be working on a task I have. Task. I'll watch chat. If you're just joining, say hi and ask me on your mind. Okay. I think we're good to go. Let's go. Cool, yeah. You should be able to hear. Okay, cool, yeah. I think we're good. Wordle. I already did Wordle today, so no Wordle today. I already did this. Probably need to tweak my dyno settings. Okay. Let's look into OBS. By the way, guys, I sent. Just read the chat that I sent, because I'm just gonna be. I don't mind stopping, but if you're not chatting, then I'm just gonna be focusing on my thing here. Let's see. Okay, let me try that. Testing, I'm just talking to myself and testing my replay buffer. And here I am, just moving my mouse around and then stopping the replay buffer, and then what the heck happens there? Did anything happen? Let's see. Sabin, thank you very much. I might have to just completely reinstall OBS with no plugins and just try learning this properly, because I don't know where my replay buffer went. All right. Again, guys, if you're just joining, you can just chat with me, and I will come back to your video, to your chat when I see it. Just where's my? Okay, I probably need to just reinstall OBS altogether and properly learn this with the tutorial. Complicated. Gonna not work on this right now. Let's see. Item. Just in case anybody's coming in for the first time, I wrote a little chat message. Please confirm the chat message. I will be swinging back to your questions when I see it in chat. Until then, I'm just gonna be focusing on some random tasks on my to-do list. I see. Now I see how replay buffer works. Oh, I should always have it turned on. Okay. And there we go. Now I know how to use it. That was way easier than I expected. Okay. Damn, it's really sad that I did not use this feature before. But now I have a replay buffer. Okay, cool. So I've just cleared the first task on my to-do list. Again, if you guys are just joining, say hi in the chat, and then if you have any questions, you can shoot them my way. Until then, I'll just be working on my next task on my to-do list, which is a little weird now. I have some decisions to make, but I guess I want to learn a little bit about. Oh, TikTok live. I'm gonna just check if this video has any problems. I'm assuming it doesn't, but yeah, it looks like not. Sabin, I see your question. I'm just in the middle of reading something, so let me just process this. Hmm. Interesting. I'll learn more about this in a second. No. Okay, question. So Sabin says, I have a lot of studying left to do for December SAT. After finishing that, I hope we'll have some. Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, good luck on the December SAT. I feel like I might have seen you on my stream in the past. If I haven't, then welcome to my stream. Um, I'm just kind of curious. You don't have to share anything you don't want to share, but I'm curious. What school year are you in? What grade are you in? And what was your progression on the SAT in terms of score, but any other details that come to mind? Huh, interesting. Currently, you're in your gap year, so you graduated from high school. You have 770 in math, 630 in English. And how does your 630 in English compare to when you first took the SAT? Eight in map, eight in vertical. Okay. How do you? No hope for vocab. Okay, so I had a rant about this a couple, I think last week. Oh, which makes me think. Actually, thank you for reminding me. Actually need to edit that rant because that rant is something I just end up saying over and over and over. So give me a sec. You know what? Let me actually just show you that rant. But before I go right into it, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. So if you're at 6:30, um, you definitely can improve your vocabulary. Just like, I don't know why you're saying no hope. You just need to get better today than you were yesterday, and you just do that 100 times, and your vocabulary will be better. Uh, so there's a couple things I can talk about with regard to vocabulary. However, to me, it still does make sense that you should focus on grammar first. So I do agree with that part. It just seems like to me you don't really have a very clear like strategy, like plan for your studies. So if you're 620, and I'm assuming you're international because this would be a ridiculous time in America for you to be awake, and you're taking a gap year, so you already finished your high school education and you're studying on your own. Okay, so you're kind of in an unusual position. Uh, Grammar is still probably the number one thing to be focusing on, and I guess I don't want to go straight into a rant about vocabulary just yet. Probably the bigger issue for you is probably that you are not really getting enough practice actually. So I'm just now wondering, what are you using to learn your grammar, and what are you using to measure your progress? Meanwhile, let me actually look for the rant that I was trying to talk about. I think it was in this one. Can I get a transcript? I can, right? No, where's my transcript? Seriously, there's no transcript anymore? Oh, there it is. That might not be the right video. So I'm gonna look over here and look for my transcript. You're studying grammar from a brilliant prep playlist. Okay. You're only using videos. Interesting. That's probably a. It's not good to only use videos because you want to actually practice um, on questions. It's like that's like me trying to be a better soccer player by watching professional soccer games. It's ridiculous. like so I I'm sure I'm sure you're solving some questions. Where are you solving the questions? Like where are you getting the questions from that you're solving? Unless that playlist is like full of questions for you to solve, which maybe I'll look it up now. But I'm actually doing something else right now to YouTube SAT playlist. Okay, I'll come back to that in a second. Okay. Maybe I should look. This seems like a useful set of things to just go. It's interesting. I've actually never heard of. I don't know if I've ever never heard of this. I've just not really heard a lot of mentions about brewing prep until now. So he probably just goes through like one question at a time. But how are you gonna? You can't just like watch these videos. You have to actually do it on your own, right? So Sabin, again, if you are not solving your own questions, Sabin, I'm guessing right now that you are not solving your own questions. You're literally watching walkthroughs only. I think if you go around and if you take a survey of everyone who has improved their reading score by 100 points or more in less than 6 months, okay? Like pretend in your country or wherever you are, you find 100 people, okay, who have improved their score 100 points or more on reading, writing only, okay, not the math, just the reading, writing only. And they made that improvement in less than 6 months, okay? If you find 100 people like that, I guarantee you, zero of them only watched videos, okay? It's insane. You cannot improve your point by. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. Okay, it's maybe if you get like a group of 10,000 people, who improve their score 100 points in the last 6 months. I bet maybe out of 10,000 people, maybe two of them, like did it without practicing. But like out of 100, zero. Seriously, because it is crazy to not practice. Okay, thank you. You are answering my question now. See, those PDFs, dude, I know you're trying to use the quote. I'm going to make a guess. I'm going to make an educated guess what those PDFs are. And you're probably preferring those PDFs because you think it's the best. Stop using those PDFs right now and focus more on just actually building up your skill, okay? Because those PDFs they'll be around forever, all right? And you can debate about them all you want. But just because they exist doesn't mean you should only rely on them. It's kind of like, I don't know anything about you, but okay. But you know what else? It's kind of like doing like an overhead squat. So an overhead squat is a very complex movement, okay? You have to hold the barbell. You have to hold the barbell above your head, okay? And then you have to like keep your posture while doing a squat, okay? It's a lot of things. It's not a single movement. Your entire body gets used, and actually the way you build up for something like an overhead squat. Even though I'm not like a weightlifter, so I don't really know all the details. So with that little disclaimer aside, so even though you may not, even though I don't know, I'm not a professional about this. What I can say is that it's actually a lot of different movements in one. So you actually have to practice those different movements. Okay, and so right now it's like you're seeing these. These PDFs, which you probably think are like the best questions to use, but those PDFs are like overhead squats. I mean, you're just like watching overhead squats, and you're just trying to do overhead squats with no preparation whatsoever. That's ridiculous. You need to go and actually learn the very basic skills that go into an overhead squat. Like maybe just start with like a shoulder press, right? A shoulder press. That's like subject-verb agreement. Just do it, right? And subject-verb agreement, you don't need the best materials in the world. You can literally, actually, if you're creative, you can even literally create your own subject-verb agreement questions on ChatGPT. Although, do that with I recommend that with a pinch of salt because it can be really kind of complicated because you don't even know what you want sometimes. So I don't recommend ChatGPT, but theoretically you could. But more to the point, you probably should just be using some very basic textbooks. Some very common textbooks that are used are like College Panda or Erica Meltzer, or I don't know, like I don't even use these textbooks personally, but like Barron's, or like there's like so many basic grammar things that you could just like build up. So again, returning to the point, if you go back and find those 100 people that we've hypothetically found, that improved their scores by 100 points on the reading writing only in the last 6 months, okay? I guarantee you the amount of watching other people solve was much, much smaller than the amount of actual solving that they did. Just like for me, I watch a lot of soccer. I watch a lot of, association football, right? I watch the Premier League. I watch these Salah and Son Heung-min and Erling Haaland, and I watch them make a bunch of goals. It's not like me watching them is going to suddenly make me a better soccer player. It's ridiculous to expect that. So make sure to actually put the practice in when you're the proportion of practice should be much greater than the proportion of learning the approach. Okay, you learn the approach by watching these videos, but then you have to actually practice the approach. It should be depends on you, but somewhere between 8-2 or 9-1. Now I'm going to swing around to some of the other questions that I'm seeing here before I come back to Sabin. Keshev, what's up? Welcome back to the stream. Sachin, GRE preparation. GRE, man, I've seen some GMAT kids and I've seen some LSAT kids, but I've not really seen GRE personally. Sachin, I do have a random question. Is the GRE fully digital? Actually, you know what? This is probably faster with GRE test format. I'm kind of curious if it is randomized questions or if everyone has full packets that are released. So GRE computer delivered. Okay, annoying. 2 hours analytical. Okay. 20 questions per section. Okay. Adaptive. Section level adaptive. Okay, this is just like the digital SAT. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna get pretty random mix of questions. It's kind of annoying personally. I don't like that, but I guess that's just the way they're doing it. So, how do you get practice tests? GRE practice tests. GRE practice test. Bro, are there official ones? Power prep. Are these official practice tests? Tool, online, $40 per practice test, bro. Oh, okay, there's 5 practice tests that I can just stream. That's awesome. I should probably do this. I probably should do this. I'm kind of feeling embarrassed about my math though, so I feel like I should probably study. I should study up on my math, which is legit ass right now, and then take these and then actually do these streams. But then that'd be such a distraction. Why am I studying math, man? I'm the reading guy. I'm the reading writing guy. So, this give me an idea. I kind of wanna. It's been on my mind more and more that I should just do some LSAT, GRE, and GMAT streams, because I've done them before, or I've done one GMAT stream once before, or maybe 2, and then LSAT was years and years ago. I actually solved them when I was trying to prepare for law school. It was so long ago, I don't really remember any. There's no way I'm gonna remember any of those passages, but I do feel like I should probably make those videos. But long story short, Sachin, I am sorry, I cannot recommend any channels for you. Keshev, yes, you can share any questions that you want, as long as it's not from the from a past test. So anything from the question bank or anything from a third-party publisher, that's fine. But I am not going to encourage. Please do not share anything that you found online that would normally be considered illegal. Okay, so Sabin, you say it's more like a time problem for me than a concept. So those are kind of related sometimes. it could be kind of a it's tricky because Saban, I really, if you're at 6:30, dude, I'm gonna say as an experienced educator, I've been teaching for 13 years now. I'm gonna say if you're at 6:30, that sounds, you might feel that's 100% true because you are seeing the clock wind down and you go back to these questions and you think you know the answers right away. But like this is such a common pattern though. Like actually you might be overestimating your grammar foundations. Your grammar foundations are more likely to be very weak compared to what you're giving yourself. Like you're probably giving yourself too much credit. If you're anything like the students that I've taught over 13 years, the hundreds of students that I've taught over 13 years who are landing in the 630 range, like you are probably actually weak at grammar and you are just not accepting the reality that you actually need to build it up because there are people who have found who have built up their foundation so much that even if you force them to solve the questions in 15 seconds per question, they will still not make the same mistakes that you're going to make. Okay. So I think you're letting yourself off the hook, and I think you need to take a cold, hard look at those mistakes, and you need to stop looking at the answer key. Do not look at the answer key. Okay. Do not look at the answer key. When you're looking at a practice test, do not let the answer key let you know if you're right or wrong. I want you to go back to the grammar questions without knowing if you got it right or wrong. And I want you to, like, what's that question, like, 15 to like 20-ish, right? From questions 15 to 20, I want you to go back. Maybe you got 0 wrong. Maybe you got 2 wrong. Maybe you got 5 wrong. You don't even know. Without knowing whether you got anything right or wrong, go back to those questions and solve them in unlimited time, and prove to yourself that you can get a perfect score. If you cannot, then you are not ready for the grammar section, right? If unlimited time, if you cannot get a perfect score, then you cannot use that excuse you just gave me about it's a time problem for you. It's not a concept problem for you. Because unlimited time means that if you genuinely understood all the concepts, you would never get it wrong. But 630s to me indicates that you actually are getting probably you still don't understand some fundamental concepts. Okay, so I do have to move on to the members only part of the stream soon. So I'm gonna, so Saban, that's at least my initial advice for you. Now, if you need more advice regarding that, let's follow up maybe next week. I'm gonna be doing the same stream at the same time next week, or you can join the Discord server and ask me for follow-up questions after you try figuring out what the problem is. Okay, so that's for Saban. Saban, I'll stop there now. Cutting off social media, I mean, that's a separate question. Yeah, of course it does. But it's complicated. It's complicated, right? But overall, yes, it does. And this kind of leads me to a big story, a little side story that I think I could share that might help somebody out there. When I was how old was I? When I was like 28 or something. 26? Frick, I don't even. How long ago was this? It was a while back. When I was in my like mid to late 20s. Okay, I was debating a career shift, and I was like, you know what? I care a lot about society, and I care a lot about justice, and I care a lot about these things on my mind, and I am really good at logical reasoning. I'm gonna try to take the LSAT. So I did take the LSAT, okay? The LSAT is the test for American law school admissions. And the way I did it, by the way, I promise you this is talking about social media. The way I did it is I moved, okay? I was living in Seoul, Korea at the time, but for a 1-month period, I rented out a hostel bed, okay? A shitty hostel bed in Jeju Island in Korea. And my schedule, I gave a schedule to myself, which was to study from, I think, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., something like that. And so every morning at 7 a.m., I would wake up, brush my teeth, and then at the hostel that I was staying, there was a dog, and I was always the earliest. I was almost always the earliest person to wake up because I was waking up at 7 a.m. And then I would just like run out to the beach, and the dog would follow me, so I just run with the dog. And then by 8 a.m., I would already eat and shower, and I guess probably more realistic around 8:30 or something. I was at a cafe, okay, and at that cafe, I solved in the morning one practice test of the LSAT. And then the afternoon, after lunch, I would review that practice test. And I did that every single day. I did not bring my computer with me. I did not bring my computer with me. I literally now this is in the days before digital tests were so common. I think the GMAT might have been already digital by that point, or TOEFL, or one of these tests were already digital by that point. But most tests were not digital. So I would just go to the local printer and I would print out my practice test. Okay. And I would use a printout. But by doing this every day from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I was basically not using the phone at all. I was away from the internet from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock every day for a month. So for 4 weeks, I studied the LSAT in this fashion from Monday to Friday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I did rest because I was at a hostel, so everyone wants to like party and drink and socialize and stuff like that. So I actually let myself socialize on Friday night to Saturday night, but I didn't let myself. Party on Monday to Thursday or Sunday to Thursday because I would always go into my hostel, into my bunk bed at I think 10 p.m. was the lights out or whatever. So lights out, all the people who want to party, they would go out to some other bar somewhere in the area, and then I would just go to my bed because I needed to study for the LSAT, and this is how I did it. So I basically avoided social media, except for like maybe 4 p.m. to like 6 p.m. On those days when I would just like kind of be resting and chilling. Generally, I was just away from social media for that 1 month, and in that 1 month, I got a score. I probably started like around 160 on the LSAT, and then I got a 170. Did I get 176? Shit, I forgot. I think I got a 176. Okay, because I think 178 was the median for Yale, and I think 176 was the median for Harvard, and I got a 176 or something like that. I got like something that was the median for Harvard, and I did that in 1 month. So does it help? Yes, it helps. It helps to stay away from distractions. It helps to have a commitment to a goal and to structure your life so that your life is about that goal and then you execute on that goal. So I think that question was asked by Sabin, but that's kind of just meant for anybody here. You know, if you have a goal, consider designing your life around that goal. If you have that flexibility in your life, okay? I just realized I'm just sharing this screen that you don't really need to be seeing. So that is my little story about how I studied for the LSAT. Okay, now that story took a little longer than I expected. So let me just finish off. Okay, so unfortunately, a bunch of people are joining, but I do need to move on to the members only portion of the stream. So let me just do quick like 2-sentence responses to everyone, and then I'm going to move to the members only portion of the stream. No, I only did undergrad, Seichen. Keshav, you shared the question in Discord. Unfortunately, that's going to take a longer time, so let's just discuss that in Discord. Lil Bunny, you're lacking on craft and structure portion. Any advice? Test in about 3 weeks. This is something I talk about repeatedly ad nauseum in all streams, and including in my walkthrough streams, in my live like solving streams. But I really recommend covering the answer choices, looking at the passage only, looking at the question only, but do not look at the answer choices, and make a prediction. Craft and structure, you'll be surprised at how many of those answers you can actually predict as long as you don't use the crutch of the answer choices, which gets you all panicky and makes you want to just like rely on the answer choices to do your thinking for you. Okay, so one more time, to answer Little Bunny's question, I strongly recommend trying predicting. Now, if you try it and it still doesn't work, then I encourage you to come back to the stream next week, ask follow-up questions, or join the Discord server, ask follow-up questions there. And then Susan, your younger sister is grade 9, non-native. Improve her English in detail, please. Unfortunately, this time is going to be a little bit limited, but if she's non-native and English, I know that I'm assuming she's in a probably an American curriculum at her school, so she's grade 9. So it does sound like an American curriculum. So she's at an American school. So I think I know this is super underrated, or maybe this is so obvious that you might be neglecting it. But the goal right now is for her to become top of her class, right? You want to be top of the class at school first, and how do you become top of the class? I mean, some very basic skills, like just like going to the teacher and asking for help, is just basic stuff if she's in an American school where the teachers are Americans, okay? But also doing the extra effort that other kids around her are not putting in, right, the work for. So there's extra bits of effort that you can put in, just spending some time making her own vocabulary list. When she's doing the readings, the teacher doesn't tell you to make a vocab list, but she makes that vocab list on her own. Alternatively, kind of identifying sentences that are hard to understand and highlighting them, maybe taking pictures of them or whatever, and saving them up, and then showing them to a teacher or to you, right? Her older sister or older brother, right? Or Susan, sorry. So probably older sister, right? Showing them to you to help figure out what those sentences are saying, stuff like that. Just putting a little bit of extra effort so that when everyone else is putting in anywhere between 80 to 100% of effort, she's actually putting in 100 to 120% effort on her schoolwork, and that will improve her English. Honestly, a lot more than you would expect. If she's not in an American school, then that's a bit of a longer conversation, and unfortunately, I do have to finish that off. But I mean, if I give like a one-sentence answer in that situation, just read books that are enjoyable first, okay? Don't worry about reading books that are hard. Focus on reading books that are enjoyable first. You will eventually develop enough English to start moving on to books that are hard. But start on the easy books that are enjoyable and build that muscle up. Okay, that's it for the open portion of office hours. I'm going to go on to the members only portion of office hours. If this video has been helpful for you, please hit that like button to let the YouTube algorithm know that I am a helpful presence. And if you'd like similar videos, and if you'd like to get notifications on my future live streams, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as well. You'll get that notification when I go live next week. Every once in a while, I'll have to change the time of my stream, so just be aware of that. Finally, if you'd like to continue chatting and asking me questions, you can also join the Discord server, which is the link is down here, okay? Or if you want to consider supporting me, I want to build out more and more free content for YouTube. I've been kind of poking around, experimenting, but I want to build out a sort of pipeline of content because I have a lot of ideas for what I could be publishing on YouTube for free for all of you guys. So if you want to be a supporter like Keshev, which by the way I didn't say thank you, but thank you very much for supporting me. Like Keshev, if you want to be a supporter, you can join my YouTube channel membership. Okay, now off to the members only portion of the stream. Thank you everybody for chilling with me. Until next time, keep on learning, keep on growing. Peace.